Hey guys, it's Josh from WA Production, and today I'm really excited to share with you this awesome new plugin that we've just added to our store called Visual Synthesizer. Now, what is a visual synthesizer? Well, it works very similarly to other synthesizers you might have used, but it's designed to control visualizations instead of music. So, what do I mean by that? Basically, you can set this synthesizer to react to MIDI or audio or both, and have different layers of visuals that are triggered by different instruments. And so it's a really awesome tool to create really dope visuals quite easily in pretty much any DAW of your choice. And I'm going to show you how I've done that today and kind of walk you through it and do some pretty cool stuff with it, I think, and see where it goes. So I've got this Ableton template from one of our projects that we've got here, and I've set up VS inside. The template sounds like this. All right, so, but I don't have this turned on yet. Don't be fooled by this squiggly guy going around. As you can tell, he's still making moves even though there's no sound, so he's not turned on yet. And so what I've done here is I've taken some of the most important elements of the track and set them up in Ableton to route MIDI on separate channels to the VS plugin. I'm not going to go through how to do that because it's a little bit different in every DAW. There are also videos online already from Imaginando, the company that makes the plugin, that tell you how to do it. So go online if you want to learn how to set up and follow those tutorials. I've got these set up here. These tracks here, you can see they're set up on different channels going into VS. And let's get started. Let's see what we want to do here. So this first channel I've got set to be the intro chords. And so let's create something cool with that. So the first thing you want to do is make sure the channel's enabled. So it is. And then turn on MIDI trigger because we're going to be triggering it with the MIDI from the intro chords. So, and then you want to make sure that this channel matches the channel that you are sending it to. So it does, channel 1. And let's start by checking out all these really awesome different visualizers, different textures. Let me see, those one I saw that I liked. How about sunset? Let's see how that starts for some chords. So if we now start playing from where the intro chords play, there we go. We've got some visualizations going. So we can also tweak a bunch of the settings here. I'm not going to get into all the different settings we can tweak because there are tons of them, but I'll play with a few of them and see kind of what it does. This isn't the craziest visualization, so it's probably not going to do a ton, all these different things, but you'll see with some of the ones that move a lot that you can really reshape them and do a lot with it. Okay, cool. So you get the idea. So I'm going to kind of leave that there. Let's jump into our next one, which is going to be this Pluck 3, which actually comes in before the other two Plucks. A little bit of a misnomer there, but let's turn that one on right now. It's a big purple screen, I guess. Let's make sure we got the MIDI trigger on and set it to channel 2 because that's where we're sending it. So let's jump over here. Let's do something a little bit more kind of for like a lead, like an individual sort of visualization. How about this guy, this comet? All right. And here we can adjust the color and all sorts of stuff. But what's going to be key here, now that we're getting into different layers, is how we blend them together. So let's start again from the beginning. So I kind of like how we did that there. So we're making sure they aren't covering one another up, and then we kind of move that plucky guy a little bit to the left. Cool. So I like how that kind of looks like it's like a moon going around a sun or a planet or whatever. It's pretty cool. All right. So the next one, I skipped one, and you guys are going to think, dang, Josh, you are very dumb. But that may be, but I did this on purpose. And that is because channel 3 is going to be a little different. What we're actually doing is routing audio rather than MIDI. So I wanted to do that for one example because there is this one. Where'd it go? Now I don't know where it is. Oh, in here, this Vox lead is all audio. And so I wanted to use that. It's this sound. Oh, well, you can't hear it because I got it muted. Okay, so I wanted to use that sound. So we're routing it into VS. So you can do that with audio as well, rather than just MIDI. And so for this one, we're going to enable it. And you see how this is going to, as that layer, that Vox lead layer is filtering in, you're going to start seeing audio coming in here. That's because that is what we are routing into this. And so when we don't have the MIDI trigger on, we can turn on this trigger so that it triggers anytime the audio goes above a certain threshold. But we got to change a few things. This is where it gets a little more complicated, but you can come into this matrix here, and rather than being triggered by the MIDI, which is what this envelope guy will do, we're going to have it triggered by the amplitude, which is the amplitude of the audio. And we're going to have that affecting the brightness. And so if we come back in here, now we're going to bring the brightness all the way down. Let's choose something more interesting than that, though. Let's do this Tesla coil. All right. So now let's see what happens. All right, so you'll see what I was doing there is raising the threshold so that, you know, if the threshold's too low and the sound is above it the entire time, then it's just going to always be on that visualization. And so I made it so that it's only really turning on when the loudest parts are on. And what's really cool with this plugin too is that you could automate these parameters. You can use MIDI learn function to connect them to knobs on your controller or whatever it is. And so if you notice, like, it's a lot quieter at the beginning, you could keep the threshold lower and have it automate up along with the filter of the sound. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time doing that now, but it's, you know, an option for something cool you could do. And then I was increasing the gain, which just means when it's on, I'm making it, you know, a much heavier level. And then the release was, I set it to much shorter so that it's only on for a short amount of time. It doesn't linger because these are pretty frequent spikes in the audio, and I wanted it to be more apparent. All right, so pretty cool, but we're going to have to make that drop more exciting. We got to have more than one element there. So let's turn on these drums. So jumping into number 4, turn that on, turn on the MIDI trigger, make sure this is on channel 4. You know the drill now. Let's choose something for the drums. How about this? And let's see how that sounds. All right, and next let's do that lead. That should be a fun one. So put on channel 5, turn that one on, turn on the MIDI trigger, and let's pick something cool for this one. Let's try this one. All right, so I think that looks pretty cool. Now let's go into this Pluck 2. Let me figure out first where that is. Pluck 2. That's what I thought. It's playing during the breakdown. So that changes things. So Pluck 2 are those chords back there. So we're going to do, turn that on, channel 7, enable, the usual deal. Now let's see how that looks. Pretty cool, but that last thing over here is that lead bell sound, so I want to turn that on. So let's jump into channel 8, turn that on, turn on the MIDI, and let's do something nice for that bell. This should be cool. Okay, let's try a new color. Let's go with like a nice bright blue, turquoise. Okay, let's see how that looks. So pretty cool, I gotta say. Obviously, I could spend a lot more time dialing in the effects, messing with this matrix a lot more. I barely even scratched the surface here. I could really dial in, so that things really pop only when, they're above a certain volume, when they're playing certain notes, whatever it is. But you get the idea in a short video that I could make something pretty cool looking pretty easily. And then we can easily record it right here into a variety of qualities. Obviously, you probably want to go high quality most of the time, but different output resolutions and all of that. So really awesome tool. Hope you guys enjoy it. It's going to be super valuable for you if you want to, if you're more of a DIY kind of person making your own visuals, or you don't have the budget to be hiring professionals to be doing cool motion graphics and stuff. This is an awesome tool to quickly put something together and have it really look professional. So hope you guys like it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and go enjoy and go make some awesome visuals.